Good morning everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Passionate Piscator here on the banks of the River Avon in Bradford-on-Avon. There's the Bradford-on-Avon bridge right behind me, and I've just been looking down here. Oh, turn you around. Right down there by this sycamore tree at some massive chub, huge things. I mean, it's out of reach for my landing net pole, even though I've got my really long landing net pole. It's just slightly out of reach, and I keep meaning to come down here. Oh, mind that sun! To come down here and perhaps get my waders on and wade out into the river, and be able to actually target them. And well, I could target them, but landing them is a different thing altogether. There's some monster chub here in Bradford-on-Avon, and I haven't actually caught any of the big chub here before. They're old fish, they're wily fish, they're very sort of spooky fish. So I think really it's just a matter of being quiet and patient, which as the day progresses, it really isn't here. I'm remaining as patient as ever, but Bradford-on-Avon, as it wakes up, it's so beautiful. You get so many visitors here, so much boat traffic on the water, and it spooks the fish. So you've got to be here dead early. I am here dead early, but I needed to have been here deader earlier, I guess, as the sun was rising, I think, to really get in there and catch them when they're at their peak fishing time. But regardless of that, I'm here today to see if I can catch a few of these chub. Whether I will, who knows. As I say, it does get busy on the water here. There's not very many swims, which is why I'm here so early, to try and get some of the best ones. And hopefully, oh, a couple of ducks behind me, hopefully catch a few fish. I've been very distracted this morning. I should have started fishing already, but I've been watching kingfishers zooming up and down the river. I'll probably stop and do a bit of filming for them a bit later on. There's a little spot I know where the kingfishers like to sort of perch on, just along the edge of these buildings here. So if I'm nice and quiet, I might be able to get some pictures of them, maybe a bit of video for you guys to see. But anyway, I'm going to stop waffling on, find my spot just upstream, and start setting up. It's going to be a good day, I think. Regardless of any fish, it's going to be an absolutely fantastic day. Warm, apparently, but a good day. I'm still just setting up in the swim. This is it. It's one of my favourite places to fish. Got a nice bit of cover overhead when the sun picks up. It's fairly out of the way. There's always a lot of people as the day goes on, dining in the fancy restaurants and causing a bit of a to-do. But the river is very low. Normally the water comes up to just, blurring the picture now, just to the top of those chestnut trees over there. In fact, you can see where they've sort of browned off. Zoom in a bit, there we go. You can see where the level would normally come up to. So it's considerably down. In fact, you can see it better over there on those, that sort of weed and things caught in the trees. In fact, sometimes it's actually been up to there, right up to the very top. But yeah, normally it comes to sort of there, so you can see how low it is by comparison, which is certainly going to make it, well, either a bit easier to get underneath those trees, or it's going to push the fish other places and make it a bit more difficult. It's going to be one over two, which we'll see. But I've got a fair bit of space there. I will be trying to get around the trees. I know for a fact there are a lot of fallen twigs around there, so I will be losing quite a bit of tackle. I'm going to put a nice, I've got £8 line on, and I'm going to be putting £6 line on the end, just so that if I do get snagged up, oh, kingfisher, where? I could hear it. Did you see it? I didn't see it. There is another little swim down here, which is really nice. But the only problem is you've got to walk down this path, and it doesn't look too bad on the camera actually, but it's a bit hairy. I mean, chances are you're going to slip down there. Well, and you don't want to fall down there because you'll go a right Brahma into the water. I've never been that brave. It's either been too wet or too dry to get down there. I don't fancy a drink. Perhaps I will later on. It's meant to be really hot today, so perhaps I will fancy a drink. You also need to be careful when you're fishing here of boat and traffic coming around the corner there, because they don't see you and you don't see them till it's too late, so you've got to keep an eye out for them. Where is he? I can hear him. He's up in that... Oh, there he goes, he's over there. I will try and get some better shots of him later on. But there's always kingfishers here in Bradford-on-Avon. It's absolutely stunning. Look at that for a view down there. Oh, beautiful. Oh, you could get lost in that, couldn't you? I think I am as well. I'm meant to be setting up. What I've done so far is put that up. I've been here ages. I can see a few fish actually out there. I don't know if you'll be able to see. Oh, yes, you will be able to see them because they're going to come to the surface. I think there's just a few chublets, a few little dace. Just off of here, one of the ladies up here chucks bread down for the swans, and the chub like to congregate there. In fact, later on, I'll have a little walk around there, and I'll show you, because there's bound to be some big chub right there. Anyway, enough staring about. Let's get fishing. Well, I wasn't expecting that so quickly. I must admit, I was just starting to relax there, and a whopping great big chub has come along and swallowed a 40mm halibut pellet. Just keeping an eye on the second rod. But as far as, let's get that bit of green out. As far as chub go, how about that? Let's get that. The net's in a bit of a way. There we go. Let's get that so that the fish jumps, and it'll go straight back into the net. Look at that. An absolutely gorgeous chub. What a clonker. Great big rubbery mouth. Oop. Careful. Still feisty, so we'll get you straight back in. Oh, I might give you a quick weigh, then we'll get you straight back in. Lovely. Mwah. Thank you, Mr. Chub. Gorgeous. So what am I doing here today to catch the chub? Well, as mentioned earlier, I've got 8-pound main line on. I've got a sliding, I think this is 1 ounce lead. There's no movement to the water at all today, so I can afford to go super light. With a little stop, just to create a little buffer. 6-pound hook length. I've got a 14mm halibut pellet, big old hook, and a little bag of pellets, and I'm just swinging it out. It's not too far to cast, so I'll just swing the bait into position just near the chestnut trees. I'm not going too far underneath them, mostly because I don't want to lose too much gear, and I don't want to hook into all the twigs which are down there. But it's just a simple lob just to the other side, and it's just sitting and waiting and relaxing in the meantime. What could be better? I don't think there is. I don't think there's anything better. Really hard to concentrate here on the rod tips. There's these beautiful Demoiselle Damselflies everywhere, following each other around, chasing each other about. And I'm looking at the rod tips, but every now and then a great big swarm of them flies through and distracts me. It's no good really. I'm meant to be fishing or attempting to catch fish, but there's some beautiful wildlife down here, so I don't really mind. Although I've probably lost a couple of chub already just by staring at these. So I must concentrate. I'm getting a lot of indications on the rod tips. In fact, just now, my left hand rod just went flying. It just flicked up in the air. A very aggressive bite. But the majority of them are just like tugs, then nothing. What I'm waiting for really is like a proper kind of bite. But there's certainly fish moving around out there. In fact, I've seen a few chub on the surface coming up. Well, probably for these demoiselles that are flying around. But far from being relaxing, it's actually very tense. Because I know that there's fish there. And any minute, one of these tips will just... So I'm sort of a bit on edge, if I'm honest. A bit on edge. Especially with a few missed bites. Could literally go any minute. But for a bit more of a relax later on, I might reel one of the rods in, put to one side, and just have the one out there. And that way I can chill out a little bit more, I think. But I think because it's early on in the morning, it's a good job to make the most of it before the real heat of the sun comes in. It's meant to get very hot today, which will mean the oxygen in the water will be low, which will mean that fish probably won't feed so heavily. But we'll see. There's a pigeon just the other side. It keeps flying in and stealing twigs for its nest. Blooming things. As I expected, it's gotten pretty quiet now. First thing this morning, the rod tips were bouncing all over the place. Now, nothing at all. I'm still using pellet. I've got some luncheon meat with me, so I might change to that. Give them something different to taste. But there's been a few canoes going past, a few paddle boarders. and that puts the fish out of the way of them. I don't know if that's entirely what the slowing down is. I think as the day warms up and the sun comes out, they do try and get into sort of more shaded areas out the way of movement and predators, I guess. But there's still fish moving around, so there's every chance. Anyway, it's quite nice because I was a bit like it's a bit intense this morning, all the twitching and things going on. I wasn't as relaxed, and now it's beautiful and relaxing. Sometimes the best thing about fishing is when you're catching no fish. A lot of anglers wouldn't agree with that, but I think it's true. I think what I might do is perhaps go for a little wander, see what wildlife I can see other than these demoiselles buzzing around. See if I can find the old kingfisher, see what he's up to. See what happened to those swans. Wherever they went, I don't know. And yeah, just have a little stroll, have a rethink. But I think what I will do when I get back is break out some luncheon meat. It's not luncheon meat actually. It's let me just get some. Here we are. It's bacon grill, good old tulip bacon grill. It's got a bit more stank to it. Got some boilies with me. I've got some Angler's Hideaway boilies with me, which I'm going to try as well a bit later on, with some nice dips. I've even got some of their pellets. I've just got some ordinary standard pellets in there, which I buy on bulk, like 25k sacks, and just take enough out for the day. What else have I got? I've got some more pellets there. I've got some soft hooker pellets should I want to go smaller and just hide that hook a bit better. But for the moment, I'm quite content just having a little bit of a chill. But I've been sat down too long now. Whilst the getting's good, I'm going to get out, do a little bit of walking, see what's going on, and then pop back to see if I can catch another chub. Or, you never know, maybe a barbel or a bream. Who knows? Or maybe nothing at all, which is more likely to be what it is. So a change to the meat has brought on a lot of bites on the rod tip, and I've been dying to know what they were. And finally, I've caught the culprit. A little bream. Well, I think it's a silver bream. It's hard to tell. I'm not very good at the silver bream hybrid identification, but he certainly looks like a little silver bream. But it's not really the big fish I was after. I was using whacking great big lumps of luncheon meat and getting pestered by these guys. If that carries on, I'll go back to the pellet for sure. Anyway, I'll see you later, buddy. And away. Okay, so the culprit for eating the luncheon meat has been located. Not a chub, not a barbel, but an eel. And a big sucking eel, look at him. Look at that. The reason I've got them so quiet is just by turning them upside down and stroking their bellies. It just means they're really, really still. Look at that, fantastic eel. Wasn't expecting that. Some chub fishing program, eh? Beautiful. Not going to give you a kiss because he will bite, so we'll pop him straight back. Unexpected eels, and now an unexpected jack pike. I guess reeling in a gudgeon just ends up with a little jack like that. There's been plenty of them snapping around the place, and perch as well. And this one finally succumbed. Lovely fish. Anyway, mwah, a dangerous kiss. Let's pop him back. It's been a strange old day, I must admit. Came here to Bradford-on-Avon to catch chub. And I've caught chub, some nice chub. But I wasn't really expecting the array of different species I have caught today. Eel and pike and gudgeon, bream and perch. I suppose in many ways it's been quite a predatory day today, with the eels and the perch and the well, I didn't really show you any perch, did I? They're really little wee ones. Eels, perch, pike and chub, all very predatory fish. And there's certainly been a lot of fish moving around chasing small fry. I'm looking up, by the way, because that's where my rod tip is. I'm not just gazing off into the distance. I'm keeping an eye on my rod tip. Got it well up out the water. Firstly, so that any chub or potentially barbel don't feel the line so much on the bottom, and also it means that some of the water users on their paddle boards and canoes and kayaks, they've got either side of the line to go to when they're moving around. This means you get less caught up in them. Anyway, it's coming to last knockings now. It's been a very, very hot day. I've mostly avoided it by being underneath this lovely canopy of trees, but that hasn't stopped the heat. It's been a bit cooler and I've been out of the sun, but I've got a cracking headache. Although I've drunk how many litres of water? About 2 litres. It really hasn't been enough. I had a bit more than that because I popped to the shops when I did my little walk. Yeah, it's starting to wear on me a bit now. So I think I'll give it another couple of hours. The river's still very slow and very low. We need a real good bit of rain for this river to really come alive. So I'm pretty glad, lucky and happy that I've caught the fish I have caught today. Even if I catch no more for the rest of the few hours I've got left, maybe a couple. Got to get my train back, of course, so I've got to allow time for that, and allow time to get back to Bristol, and then get from Bristol home, and then get something to eat. I've had a few sandwiches, but I'm absolutely starving. Anyway, currently I've got luncheon meat out there, and luncheon meat has been blighted by eels all day long. However, they seem to have disappeared a bit now, so I'm giving luncheon meat another go. I've been on boilie and pellet and luncheon meat and worm. Worm being, of course, the bait I caught, little gudgeon, which I didn't show you. Little perch, which I didn't show you. And the bream, which I did show you. I've caught quite a few gudgeon on that. And of course, Bradford-on-Avon is famous for its gudgeon. So it's nice to get one of the sort of local residents, one of much beloved gudgeon into the net. Not that I needed a net, of course. I'm using 8-pound line with a 6-pound hook length. That'd be a hell of a gudgeon that needed that. Anyway, I'm going to soak up the last of the day Watch the river slowly creeping along. Hope for a chub. Another nice decent chub. And just relax, just relax. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Relaxing. Lots of wildlife, kingfishers, pigeons, swans and ducks and all manner of insects. Dragonflies and damselflies. It's been really, really nice. Quite often I come here with my other camera, not this is my phone I'm filming on, but my proper wildlife camera. You can get some lovely wildlife photos here, especially on a nice sunny day. Anyway, I'm just going to chill out for the rest of the day, the few hours I've got left, and see where we end up from there. If nothing, doesn't matter. It's been a good day. Absolutely beautiful, isn't it? Bradford-on-Avon, what a place. Just, you could spend all day here, and I have. But it's time to go. I am absolutely shattered. It's been a long, warm day. Not as many fish today as I'd have liked. What do I put that down to? Well, you could put it down to the water conditions. It's very slow and very shallow. You could put it down to the weather. It's very warm. But it could just be a rubbish angler, of course. No, it's never a rubbish angler. It's always something else. Anyway, it wasn't that bad at all. Although I said to myself today, before I headed out, secretly, I didn't tell you guys, I was like, oh, it's going to be a chub episode, this one. I'm only going to be filming any of the chub I catch. Well, I've caught a couple of chub, but there was a lot of other species of fish, wasn't there? You know, the pike and you didn't see the perch, but and the gudgeon, but there were perch and gudgeon, and there was roach and eel, and just so many other fish. I couldn't help but film them, just to show off the variety in this fantastic river, the River Avon. But it does remind me of the great and legendary John Wilson, who would have said, "Some chub episode, Wilson." So some chub episode this was. I've heard a word, chub. Lovely, beautiful chub. That lovely £3 pluser. I forget what it was now, but it was about £3.5. Gorgeous fish. Anyway, like this video. It's a tracker. Hey! Like this video if you've liked it. Subscribe to the Passionate Piscator YouTube channel, and I will see you next time on the bank. Bye.